What's up, y'all? Cosmic Cage back again with another reaction video. Let's not waste too much time. Let's get right into it.
Do you know a turnoff that most men will never tell you about? It's when a guy does something small, like pull the chair for you at a restaurant, or hold the door for you, or buy you flowers. And the girl says, "Wow, this is so special. No man has ever done this for me." It sounds sweet, right? But it's not. It's not. For a man that's had enough experience with women, he knows that's a red flag. Because what she just told him, without even realizing it, is that men have gotten a lot more from doing a lot less. The bare minimum, the breadcrumbs. And that means that she has very low standards and very low self-esteem. Now, for a nice guy or a white knight who also has very low self-esteem, he will see this as an opportunity to rescue her, to save her, to fix her, or to take her on as a project, to help her rewire or reimagine an entire gender. He'll take that responsibility on by himself, right? But to a man that's grounded, he has high self-esteem, high self-respect, he knows that he's about to walk into a dynamic where he's going to be punished for giving her more than she can emotionally hold. He's going to be punished for the mistakes of her exes, because what she can emotionally hold is the bare minimum, is a man abandoning her, is a man disappointing her. That's what she's learned to regulate through. If a woman is used to that kind of treatment, 9 times out of 10, she's going to attempt to sabotage the relationship. Not because she's unhealthy, it's just she doesn't really feel like she deserves the level of care, attention, and devotion the guy's giving her. Now, most men find this out from direct experience. That's why they don't try to open that door and see what's behind it. So if this is you, when a man is showing you care, attention, devotion, do not announce that it's a surprise. Act like you've been here before. That's it. Act like you've been here before. Let it land in your body. Let it settle. Let it become your new normal.
All right. So we got another video to react to there. And he had made some good points in that video. And it's things that I've talked about regularly over and over and over again. I want to add to some of the stuff he said there, and I wanted to go into a little bit more points on what he talked about. The other one that I want to add on top of this that is tied to the same thing is when she generalized a lot of things to men and things like that, where it's like, oh, men only thinks about this, or this is what they care about, or men definitely always cheat, or anything in that sense. Both of those fall in the same bucket and category. Whenever you hear this on the first date, that should be your cue to run. Run as fast as you can. Now, if you're toxic, you can use this, as he talked about here, and then in a way as a manipulative tactic to get into there a little bit more. But when you become an adult and you have time is like the biggest thing on your priority list, because you're limited in time and there's a lot of things that you should be trying to do with your time that are more productive than dating someone who needs healing. You need to understand when you hear these are cold things down the road, because what I've noticed as a guy who's worked on myself and continue to work on myself is that when someone really likes you, they'll harbor a lot of things, a lot of their negative traits or traits that probably have harmed them in the past, and they'll wait until they got you hooked in, whether it's in a relationship or y'all been together for like a year or whatever it is, whatever the situation is, and then you'll start to see a lot of this stuff creeping out. So what you need to learn is that you need to learn to see some of these patterns before it gets to these points. And he brought this up right now where he said, like, men with experience understand this, because what's going to happen down the road with those both examples, the one that he said and what I said, is that once you get into a situation, it's always going to go into a fail-safe mode. And I'm like, anytime you associate current actions with your past trauma, it's clear that you're not over it, right? It's clear that you still are held back by your past. And that's the same thing with this. You are still holding on to so many negative emotions and feelings that are harbored and attached to men that you can never have a healthy relationship with a guy until you let go of those experiences. So I tend to not like get into conversations about this with women because this is more of something that you have to go and heal and do the work by yourself. Because me just telling you like, hey, this is what we think and this is the aspect of it is not gonna help the deep rooted cause of why this is happening and you changing your mentality. Because I like when they say this out loud. I'd rather you say this out loud rather than harbor this in your head all the time, because it lets me know early, like, this ain't it. This is a waste of time. This is going to be continual throughout the whole experience. You think that once you continue to date them, that this will kind of go down because you're showing trust and faith. But in reality, it doesn't. It never goes away. As I just told you, months down the road, it's still going to be triggered. And the trap I always tell men to watch where, because you have a good experience with them, and it's the same thing actually for guys, you got to watch out, is that, you know, you dated and talked to so many women that lack like personality or is not giving or kind, or like they feel like entitled for you to just like give to them, that when you meet someone who's like, no, don't spend your money, like, yo, let's do this instead, or and then they're fun to be around, you like you have a natural vibe and chemistry with them, that you ignore so many signs of different things. And this is something that I've struggled with in the past, that I've worked on and continue to work on. So when you hear people giving you the responses, and it's specifically negative responses attached to their past dating experiences, do not engage, because that is going to be an uphill battle for you to continue to try to fight, and that you're not going to win. That person needs to do the work. I'm not saying you need to sit there and chastise them and go into the combination into why and this and that. Be like, hey, this is not working, and you just move on with life. Because at the end of the day, you're saving yourself a headache. Don't put yourself in these situations down the road. Like, even if you want to be toxic, or if you don't want a relationship, you just don't want to deal with certain people. You don't want to deal with certain headaches. You don't want to deal with certain situations. So finding out key phrases early, like how he talks about here, is going to be the big thing to help you down the road when it comes to finding problems and seeing like a continual pattern before it gets to a very bad situation. So, hey, that was a really good video. It's coincidence because it's something that I've been talking about a lot lately, and it's something that you have to really watch for. And it works in chains with like people who date a certain type of men. So you just need to understand, like, you're doing your work, you're continuing to progress, you're learning, because like you're always going to have a learning experience during dating. So don't beat yourself up when you don't catch these things. Just try to catch it earlier than you did before. And once you do that, you're continuing to head in the right direction, and you're doing what you need to do. And it's not that big a deal if you're just still struggling, but you just aim for progress over perfection. Again, Cosmic Cage, back with another video. Hope you have a great and amazing day. Cosmic Cage out.